Welcome back to Keep Expecting Miracles. I am Ilissa.
And I'm Jessica.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back for another episode. Episode 13, 12, 14. I don't even know. We're in the double
One of them.
digits. Yes.
Yay. Whoop, whoop. Whoop,
Yes.
whoop.
That's a good number to lose track of.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. We're
I
excited.
love that. How are you feeling today and how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Very relaxing. Very just do what I want to do, what we want to do. We're starting to get into just like a little rhythm as a family. We're not traveling as much as we were. So I got to sleep in. It's always good when mommy gets to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. We went to Strawberry Farm, so we went to go pick some strawberries. Alina loved
Oh,
it.
that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm still doing dry January. I don't even know if this is going to air in January, but I'm still doing dry January, and I'm going to try to continue it so I can be like Rihanna. I didn't drink
Okay.
all year. I didn't drink all year. Oh my gosh, now I'm saying it on the podcast, and I really can't do it. Like,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't even realize it was a brewery and it was a winery. They had like
Oh,
strawberry
wow.
wine.
Oh, that sounds good,
I
though.
know. And it was like strawberry. Donnell bought 3 different wines. And he
Oh.
was like, I told you I'm not drinking. Why are you buying all that wine? He's like, oh, I want to try it. He brought 3 different ales because it's a brewery too. And he brought 3
Mm-hmm.
different wines. I'm like, so you're just going to sit up here and drink this strawberry wine? And I told you that I'm doing dry January. He was like, yeah, that's you, not me. Okay. But yeah.
One day. There's always next year.
There's always next year.
If you want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I could at least do
Or
dry January. Like,
yes,
what?
right. Yeah, you can just do January.
Yeah.
Me and, my creative mind, I'm like, just take some of the strawberries, dry them out, dehydrate them, put them in your Levo machine, and make your own, make your own, strawberry glycerite.
Oh, yeah.
Add that into some seltzer water, and you'll have your own strawberry spritzer.
Mocktail. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
all the strawberry mocktails.
Yes. Yes. How was your weekend, though?
Magical. Magical. I said that I was listening to one of our recordings the other day, and I had used that description for a weekend that wasn't so good. Like I was feeling really bad that weekend, but you speak what you want. You speak what you want it to be, not what it was. And and that's not bypassing the fact that there was a lot of pain, but I recognized that it was a weekend of growth, right? And so I would say that is magical. That's the weekend for me to grow. Whereas this one now was a great weekend. Went to Disney World. Finally got there in the morning. Usually we go there in the evening and close out the park. So it was weird leaving and people are still coming in. But it was nice. We got to ride on. We went to Animal Kingdom, so we rode really fun rides. It was like different parts of the park that I had never seen before, even though I had been there so many times. But aside from that, I love the fact that over the past few days, I keep calling my mom in the morning, right? Usually I don't call nobody in the morning, except for like you. And so I keep calling my mom in the morning. I'm like, good news. I have good news. So yeah, it's a magical weekend.
That is an exciting thing to be able to call your mom and have good news, and going to Disney is always magical.
Yeah, it is, right? I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a magical weekend with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. We, just having, because there's just, obviously we don't know when this episode is going to air, but there's just a lot going on right now in the news with just natural disasters, and it's very easy to get hyper focused
Yeah.
on um what's going on, like the pain, the sorrow, the
Yes.
loss, and you
Yeah.
want to empathize with people. But you listening to Michael Beckwith, you shared something with me that really helped me think about it in a different way. um if you want to go ahead and say what you learned listening to him this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yes, I was listening to one of his amazing, I call it a sermon because look, he be preaching like we in church, like
Yeah, well, he
not
is a
even Baptist,
pastor.
like
He is a pastor of his church.
yes.
He is, so.
Yeah, yeah. But not a non-traditional, I guess you would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so he said something. I've heard it before, and it probably was from him, but it's amazing. He says that when we worry about other people, we dim their light. It's like we cast a shadow over them. These are not his words verbatim, but this is, basically the gist of what he was saying.
Mhm.
And so what we need to do as we need to feel well within ourselves and share our light with them. Us feeling bad doesn't help them. Us feeling bad doesn't help anyone. This is when you worry about anyone, like, no matter what it is. And so it's like maintaining your high vibration. Energy is contagious, right? We know that there's an energy when you think about someone, you can feel that.
You can feel it.
So you can feel when someone is thinking about you. Um, and often, uh, so he is basically saying like even though these people are going through things and specifically like the California fires, even though they're going through such traumatic events, such, I mean, it's horrible things happening. We can't sit here and cry for them.
No.
It's okay if shed a tear, but the thing is that we have to maintain our high vibration. We have to feel good within ourselves, and then we shine that light on them.
Yeah.
We share the light,
Yeah.
because worrying while they're worrying is just downfall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah.
and you can feel it, like you said. That's like were telling me earlier, that's also in the Bible. We worrying doesn't do any good for the person that you're worrying about or for yourself. It puts you in a state of panic and stress and sorrow, and it's not even just worrying, it's being consumed by it.
Hmm.
um
And because that's what happens once you get in it, it's hard to get out.
it's very
It's
hard.
hard to get out, especially when it's stuff like natural disasters. Excuse me, natural disasters that's in the news. You're going to
Mhm.
see it over and over again. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And that
Mhm.
just feeds into the negative energy that's
Mhm.
out there, and it can consume you. It can make it hard to get up out of bed. It's hard to just live your life.
Mhm. Mhm. That's what happened with a lot of people with during COVID. Like a lot of
Hmm.
people were just so depressed,
Yeah.
for very good reason, but it's just,
Hmm.
it was widespread depression, like
Mm.
debilitating depression. So, yeah, just thinking about what we're going to be talking about today during our I Am segment. That is a segment that we talk about subjects represented to us in our full divinity as divine goddesses. Today, I had recently had the realization. I mean, people say it all the time, but actually thinking about life as a game,
Hmm.
um, and applying it to different things or different scenarios, and you're just like, wow, what if this thing really is a game? Like, what if we're all playing one big game? I saw Donnell watching a Billy Carson video this past weekend, and I didn't
Really?
say anything. I just was quiet.
Okay.
Like, I didn't know what the video
Hmm.
was about, but I heard him talking. I was like, why is he watching that type of video? He's one of the main people that's just like, yep, this is a video game. We're in a video game. We're like Sims,
Yeah.
and you can create what you want to create. Your mind thinks it and it happens. And, not to even think about it in that way, but to think about life's challenges or obstacles or just things that you're going through. Or even like the natural disasters that you're talking about. It's just like, if this is in fact a game, just be an observer. If you're not in it, just be
Mm.
an observer and let it pass.
Yeah.
Just let it pass. If you are compelled, if you're able to, obviously you can help and contribute and support, but just be in non-judgmental, non-emotional, non-reactive observer.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree because, um, like I mean, as someone who has gone through tough things,
mhm,
it is great to be able to, like, when you can distract yourself with someone else's light, like, oh, look, this is working out for me, that's working out for me, this is working out for me, to be around that person, even though what you're going through is, not that. But
yeah.
I love the fact, I mean, I just think thinking of life as a game is fun,
Mhm,
you know? And it's like, and yes, observing, being the observer protects your energy,
mhm,
protects our bodies.
mhm.
And it also gives us the strength to be like, you know what? I see that this is happening. And if I can help, I can go and do it. Because sometimes things just get so, well, I'm thinking like when it comes to like death, you know, people, all the horrible things that happen in the world,
Mhm.
it can be so much where we can, especially as people who are empathetic, like you can feel it so much that you can't even move. I can't even go help. Why? Because the ideas aren't coming. Like I have no connection. Like the pain can block our connection to God. When it's like, but you're not the one that's in that. These people are in that. So what could your job be right now? Um, and if it's to go help, that's amazing. Um, but that's, as you were saying that's what I thought about. It's like, well, you have to ask yourself, what is your job here right now?
Yeah.
What is your job right now?
Mhm.
What
Yeah,
should you be doing?
right. What's your role? I'm
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
I can see how certain people that take that notion, you can literally get take that notion and run with it. Like, life is a game. All right, if life is a game, then I am doing this to the fullest. I'm doing this to the max. Let me do everything that I possibly need to do in order for me to level up.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that certain people, are born into certain roles or resources or advantages, if you will. But that, I don't know if you've ever seen that Black Mirror episode of like the people that want to become pop stars
Mm-hmm.
and they have to like work out to get a certain amount of points. I'm specifically doing
Yeah.
like the elliptical action because, like, you can see on the screen, like you can see everybody's points on the screen. Or even that movie Out of Time with Justin Timberlake, like how you have like your time is on your wrist.
Oh
And like
yes.
the rich
Yes.
people have a whole bunch of time, and the poor people, like
Uh-huh.
all of that stuff, like just even the Matrix, like thinking about
Mm-hmm.
all of those movies and how like you can take something from each movie and it is a little bit of truth to it. Like it is true. Like you can see it
Mm-hmm.
in your in as life is playing out. And for me, we all want to level up. Um but I it's almost like, and then you can we always talk about this with people that live fast, like that
Mm.
whole live fast die
Yes.
hard type of thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately that is real. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've known several people that just grew up way too fast, and unfortunately they passed away in a car accident or doing something else that was just like If you live your life a certain way, if you're doing all these things, then unfortunately this can be a result of it. And it's like you're just running too fast and you've ran out of
Mm-hmm.
lives. Almost. It's not funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not funny.
Yeah.
Um
No, but when you think about it like that, okay, because death is transition, right? We just
yeah.
transition out of this body. So, like,
Yeah.
when the time comes, like, I'm still going to be here. I'm just no longer Jessica. I go back to what I was before.
Mhm.
Who was I before? This light being swimming. I call it swimming or flying around in the ether. Um,
Mhm.
so it's the story. That person's story is over. So yeah, you live fast, and now the story is over because you completed what you were supposed to do.
Mhm.
But when I feel like I've heard like the whole life is a game thing from people who are in the stock market, it gives me Great Gatsby vibes. Like when you said it, I'm like, what? I'm hearing that from people that be like, yeah, let's go win some money, let's go do this, it's very much like, um, to say life is a game. It gives me the energy of what more can I do? What else can I milk out of this? How else, like, where can I go? What can I do? Like, what
Where
goals can I
where
reach? What
where are the gold coins at? What stone
right.
haven't I looked under? What brick haven't I
Mm-hmm.
punched yet
Mm-hmm.
to get my
Mm-hmm.
gold coins?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then look, sometimes we fumble, sometimes we be losing all our rings like Sonic. Like, just
Yeah.
okay, but then you get back up and keep going. But
Yeah.
that is exactly. I have a nice example of. I haven't told the kids life is a game or anything like that. I haven't told the kids that. However, um, I recently started telling them. I told my daughter first. She doesn't like getting up in the morning, doesn't like going to school, right? And I remember how that feels. I felt the same way. Um, because also, like, the Florida school system is extremely boring. It rarely held my attention. As a
Mhm.
teacher, I made sure that my class was fun, dynamic, things were changing, there was music, there was lighting, it was, but
The club.
um
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Yeah, and we was all fam. Anyway, so so they like a traditional teachers, often it's like, okay, let's turn the page, let's read the book, let's do,
Mhm.
and I get it, like, I know why she's bored, and and doesn't really like getting up to go. But I told her, I'm like, you can't just be getting up and like be trudging through life. Like, you are not, you're not in quicksand, you're not in mud, like, you should be flying right now.
Mhm.
Like, you're a
Mhm.
young child, you should be having fun. So I'm like, I told her, I'm like, you need to make your own fun. God wants you to be happy, like, you want to keep yourself uplifted. Why
Yeah.
don't you look for miracles today? Who do you have a problem with at school? Like, what do you have an issue with? Why don't you look for a good, like, look for the reason that it is good? Look for the good,
No.
look for the miracles.
Yeah.
And so, I actually just started that on Thursday. And so when she went to school, she had the math test. She was like, I don't want to do this math test. I always fail my tests. And I told you, would she come home? She came home smiling and beaming, glowing, because she was like, Mom, I got the highest. Nope, that has never been done. Okay, I was brought to tears. She got the highest grade on the math test out of everyone in the class, and she was like, and
Wow.
I got to put my name on the wall for honor roll. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
what?
Because
Like,
she had
she's
a different attitude towards the.
completely different attitude. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, now, of course, today I told her, I'm like, okay, we're going to do this again. Look for the miracles, because it's like the moment that you shift your attitude,
Yeah.
life shifts for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now here's the game side of it. We shift our attitude, dark forces often come in and be like, oh, let's knock them right back down.
Let's knock them right back down. Yeah. Well,
And then the
that makes
challenge is
me
keeping
think.
yourself up.
That makes me think of Angry Birds and just how you have to keep over and over trying to get the flag. You using each bird, but how there's like other things in the background They're there to distract, whether it's the wind or if it's like the pigs that you got to get. There's like other things
Hmm.
in the scene that you have to hit down, and that makes me think of like there's so many people in the world. Like I'm starting to believe that some of these people are like really like bots for real. Like some people are just if life is a game, some people are not real, and
Uh-huh.
they're just here as distractions. They're just
Oh,
here as in the background, like
when I tell you, but you know what that goes along with? That goes along with your mommy moment that you posted, where some people have to play the role as the villain in your life, right? They
oh,
have to be used in that way, and they have to fulfill that purpose so they can move on to their greater purpose, and you can move on to your greater purpose.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
And I'm
definitely,
like, I see that
definitely.
completely. So, I mean, and if we do get used by forces, whether they be angelic or demonic.
Mhm.
Um, and then we could also go into the fact that like the demonic forces aren't necessarily bad. They just appear to be bad.
Mhm.
But it's a
Mhm.
necessary evil in order to push people in a direction that they need to go to.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so um, yeah. I lost my train of thought, but thinking of life as a game, I think
yeah. They're
that's the first thing to do to win at life, to make you feel like you're winning.
right, right. Well, I mean, you're right. Just people do have certain roles. People are placed in our lives for certain things, and they're only gonna be in our life certain periods of time and a certain amount of time. And just because somebody has a certain title or it could be somebody's family member doesn't mean that they are going to they could play anything, they can play any role in your life.
Yeah.
And that's what that mommy moment was about for me. It was just like, hmm. Because you always hear when you're younger, well, like, not everybody's gonna like you. Like, you're not gonna be liked by everybody, or you're not gonna, you just, certain people are just not gonna, you're not gonna gel or click with.
Hmm.
And you're just like, why is it? But that's just not what it is. Like, you're not going to have a relationship, or a honey relationship with somebody who is vinegar. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
me and Donna were watching a show on it's a really good show. I can't even think of the name of it, but the lady was talking to this grandma or to this old lady, and she was like, I can't believe, the lady's really nice, and the young girl's like, I can't believe that's your son, and the old lady was like, yeah, they dipped him in vinegar before when they handed him over
Oh
to me
shoot.
as the baby.
What?
And that's what you just have to think of these people. They
That
were
is
dipped
too
in
funny.
vinegar. These Some people are
Uh-huh.
bots, some people are robots, some people are not real. They're just
Mm-hmm.
pawns. They're pawns
Mm-hmm.
placed on the board to distract you. And some of them are dipped in vinegar to, trigger you, to help
Yes,
you go
yes.
through challenges, so that you can move forward. And, that whole notion of you will go through something over and over again until you learn a lesson. You will. That's life is a game 101. Like, this lesson is coming. I have to go through this level. How many times do I have to go through this level before I can beat it? I've done it. I've done this level.
Yes.
I remember playing Super Mario so many times and being stuck on a level for 2 weeks, and then I'll give it to my mom
Oh
or give it to
shoot.
somebody, and they'll just beat the level. How the heck did you do that?
Mm.
How did you
Because
do
it was
that?
your challenge.
But it was my challenge, and you see, that could be a
Mm-hmm.
metaphor right there. Like, I'm so used, here, do this for me, mom. Like, I actually have to go through it myself. I have to go through this level myself so that I can
Yeah.
move up, so that I can advance, so that I can
Yes.
have, meet the blessings that God has for me. And if I don't, then that's when dis-ease comes. Dis-ease is
Mm.
also disease,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sickness, sadness, depression is a disease. Like, certain people want to, question why certain things show up for them. How many times have you been on this level? For how long have you been on this level in your life?
Right.
Well, why? Where is the
Right.
stagnation? What is
Yes,
the energy?
stagnation is what it is.
Yeah, what is the energy that
Mhm.
needs to move throughout your body for you to get to be well? It is
Mhm.
stagnation.
Mhm.
It is.
Yep, yep. And moving the energy is important, and there's so many different ways to go about doing that. It varies person by person.
Mm-hmm.
It just, for some people, it's anything can be the solution.
Yeah.
But as you were saying that, it just made me think of um it made me think of a few things. But I'm thinking of what I had just told my mom today, that she was talking about, going through the same thing over and over again. I was like, wait, I'm taking a class, with Matthias De Stefano.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he said exactly as you said, the reason that you are stuck in a loop of going through the same thing over and over again is because you have not learned the lesson. And I love that he gives us practical,
Mm-hmm.
actual ways to solve this. He said, you have not learned the lesson because you're not asking the right questions.
Oh
You're
wow.
asking the same question every time you're in it. You're asking the same question. You need to ask a different question.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so he's like, often we're like, why is this
Wow.
happening to me? Why am I here again? What's going on? When the question needs to actually be, what should I be learning from this?
What should I be
What is the
learning?
lesson?
Mm-hmm.
This is a stepping stone, and I know it is a stepping stone. And he says, you just have to recognize you came here to learn a lesson that has to do with this problem that you're facing right now, and
Mm-hmm.
recognize that. And now look for the
Mm-hmm.
solution. Like, okay, what is the angelic realm telling me about myself? What is this
Mm-hmm.
teaching me right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, soon after you do that, you receive the answers, and then you form a new question. And then soon that gets you to, a whole new reality. And, after every question is a solution and a new one, and it just goes over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say that we mentioned Elissa's Mommy Moments, and that's Elissa's Mommy Moments is what's a recording that you do on Instagram, that she does on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow her on Instagram. If you go to Keep Expecting Miracles, you'll find her page there. You can say your screen name.
Mm-hmm. Oh
I
yeah,
know you had changed it on
Ilissa.
there.
Ilissa explains it all.
Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, so that's what he said. And so I actually just listened to this. When did I learn this? Was it this morning? So or
That's
yesterday? I don't
another
know. I was
thing with
real
life is a
soon.
game. Time is not real.
It ain't
It's
real.
not real.
Time is what you make it. Everything is what you make it.
Yeah.
Everything is what you make it.
Yeah. Yeah. But what were
So
you gonna say though?
I was just saying that I look forward to seeing, I look forward to applying that to my life and seeing how that turns around for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to hear it. It's one thing for somebody to tell you it. It's another thing to do it.
Another thing to do it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I that so we know that my I don't know if everybody knows, but people that know me know that my I grew up in a military family, so I've lived all over, and I've been moving my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
With periods of not moving, obviously, but I just we were just living in Phoenix for 5 years. Now we're here back in Florida, so but so every time I move someplace new, I've always like had maybe not every time, but like after I graduated from college is when I started like wondering what place like what value a place had onto my life and what it added, and what lessons I needed to learn from being there. And when you ask yourself like, what do I need to learn, or even look back at when you live somewhere and like what you've learned from those people or from that specific location, it like blows your mind. It
Mm-hmm.
literally blows your mind. Like even last year, I said like 2024 was my humble year. Like I literally had to humble myself in so many ways, like starting off at the beginning of the year with being pregnant and everything that I had to go through with that freaking pregnancy and my job, and just like not having maternity leave, to like then, not being able to stay at the job and then trying to get another one, and then like having to go to the hospital and go birth on D-Pod. Like walking
Mm-hmm.
down the hallway in labor, and it's like, humble yourself, honey. Humble. Did you think that you were going to be able to walk up in this hospital like you did last time and choose the room? The hospital was full. Like, let me not go on a tangent, but the hospital was full when I got there to birth my son.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and then getting a new job, having to leave my child, with my dear doula. He was only 3 months old, going back to work. It was only for a day. I did work from home, but the orientation was in person for one day. So, but me driving, like, me driving, I know people are like, this girl's so spoiled, but like me driving, like, to work. And I'm grateful that I had a car to drive to work in, but the car that I was driving in, like, that's not the car that I like. My husband drives that car, like it wasn't my new car that I. So it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm like, okay, Lord, I understand you want me to learn this lesson before I move from Phoenix. Humble yourself, honey. Like, humble yourself. And I'm like, okay, that's not my word now no more. That's not my word anymore for 2025. It usually comes
Mm-hmm.
a couple months into the year. I don't know what it is right now, but even if you ask yourself at the beginning of January, what's my word? What's my lesson?
Mm-hmm.
It'll pop up. It'll pop up.
Yeah.
So I encourage all of our listeners and our viewers to, like, if you want to ruffle some things up, if you want to, like, I'm calling in what, peace, abundance, harmony.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word. Like, what do I have on right now? I have surrender. That might.
Oh gosh.
I know. It's like,
But
don't
you
try
never
hard,
know.
bro.
Look, you
Yeah.
never know, because surrender. I think of surrendering as um, jumping off of a building, but it's the building of captivity, and you're
Okay.
landing
Okay.
on a giant eagle and you're soaring.
Okay. I don't like heights. So
Me neither, but it's better than falling to death. So
it is.
you,
It
instead of
is.
falling to your death, you are carried. You're carried by the realm. I feel like that's exactly what I did. I mean, I'm still surrendering is a act that you have to keep on doing. And like there are times when I'm like, oh yeah, I think I surrendered, and I realize no, I'm still over here trying to be in control. I'm still trying to be in control. And then you can tell that you haven't surrendered by your emotions. Are you feeling like super upset? Something ticked you off? Like, are you having the same triggers? Then you have not actually surrendered, because when you surrender, you're able to be in more of the observation seat
Yeah.
than anything before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I didn't realize that this was surrendering. But that video I had made on my High Vibe Herbals page about what brought me into studying the herbs and realizing that plants saved my life,
Mm-hmm.
um, or enhanced my life, really.
Mm-hmm.
I got there because I surrendered.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I told God, I was like, this was what I didn't realize I had postpartum depression, but I had like a bunch of other stuff, plus situational depression going on
Mm-hmm.
years ago. And I was like, hey, I'm done with this life. I don't want to do this anymore. So I wasn't going to take myself out, but I was like, I'm ready to make the transition into the heavenly realm. And so God was like, no, it's not time yet.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I can do. But the thing is that I made room for that. I was like, I don't know where to go from here, and I can't do this anymore. What needs to happen? And so then I experienced a complete breakdown of everything that wasn't real, that I thought was
Wow.
real.
That's
And I
cracking
have
the
tried
code
to
of the
hold on to
game
it.
for real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tried to hold on to it. And that's the not surrendering. But then there are other things that I have been able to surrender at, and it's like, whoa, I didn't even think these other things were possible.
Yeah. 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 Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that moment. I mean, that I know that that's a tender moment to even share and acknowledge that you were just, you know, past the point of you thought that you're past the point of being saved. You're just like, okay, God, please. And to just see where how far you come and where you're at right now, it speaks to your resilience and your strength and the glory of the Lord, obviously.
Hmm.
And our ancestors and our angels, and it it reminds me of, that's a good segue. It reminds me of the song that we are about to go over, for our next segment. Um, the
I said
segment
what I
I
said.
Said What I Said. It's our manifestation segment where we talk about all things manifestation, whether it's manifestation success stories or things that you want to manifest. You can send it in to us at keepexpectingmiracles@gmail.com, or Instagram DM at keepexpectingmiraclespod, or our personal manifestations. And we actually share tools like ChatGPT, or things that we use, or things that we use in assistance to help us manifest and make our manifestations louder, bigger, greater. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about today is songs. A song. We always talk
Yeah.
about songs here. We've already done a lyric breakdown of another song on a previous episode, but I wanted to bring this song specifically to the pod because it's a song that I heard when I was watching a TV show. I don't know if you like. I listen to the background music of shows.
Hmm.
And so if I hear a song, I'll pause it and I'll rewind it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'll put the captions on so I can see the name of the song. And so that's how I found this song. It's called Beninzi, by Amanda Black. She's a South African artist. She's an amazing, when I tell you, this girl is an amazing artist. She literally sounds like it. I can't. There's nobody that I can even like Whitney Houston and Beyonce put together. Like, she's
Mm.
that good, and she speaks this when she sings. She sings in English, but she also sings in a language, a South African language called Zosha. It's spelled Z. I mean, not Z. Xosa. Right? I'm saying right, like I'm, and I'm looking at it.
I don't know.
I'm looking at it
I
right
still have
now.
yet to listen to her. I know I need to
Yeah,
listen to her. I
I
still
wish
have
that
yet
we
to
had
hear
the
her.
capability. I hope we can have the capability of putting this song in there. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm sure
Um,
we could.
yeah, we'll have to figure it out. Maybe that'll be
Maybe.
our challenge for this this episode. But this song, it's so, she sings in this native tongue, this native language to her people, to her South African people, and it's like a reverence. The song, the when you hear the lyrics, like, I didn't know what this song meant. I didn't know what the lyrics meant. I just was like, this song is speaking to me. And then I looked up
Oh.
small, like the actual phrase Beninzi means there are many. I looked that up, and so I played it, and I played it over and over again, and it was a song that helped me, during the time of creating my business. I would put it on when I was mixing my herbs, and doing anything for my business. I would just put the album on. I would put it on in the car, and it was, one of my old therapy supervisors used to say, like, songs are a vehicle. Like, you put them on and they'll take you wherever you want to go. Like, this is how these artists are able to
Wow.
manifest things in their life. They're using songs, they're
Yeah.
using sound, they're using lyrics, they're using words, they're using, instrumentals to create, to heal, to
Mhm.
manifest. So this
Mhm.
specifically, it speaks to what you were talking about. It encourages resilience and perseverance. And so these are some of the lyrics in English. This is Beninzi by Amanda Black. It's hard, I know. You may feel like you're losing strength. Feeling empty is nothing new. You don't even know where you're headed until you get through. The path is shown by those ahead. Don't be afraid. You're doing a lot. Be strong. Move on, because there are many. Yes, I know too. There are many. I'm not the first and not the last. There are many. Gotta survive. I will succeed. There are many. Get up and chase their dreams. There are many. There are many. Yeah, there are many. And it just says, there are many, keep going over and over and over again. And it says, I ask you to forgive. I ask you to forgive. Keep fighting. You're not alone. It's still a journey. You're not walking alone. The path will become clear soon enough. Look ahead. Look ahead. You're not the first and you won't be the last. So keep your head up. Hold on, hold on. Yes, I know too. There are many. I'm not the first and not the last. There are many. Gotta survive. I will succeed. There are many. Get up and chase their dreams. There are many. There are many. There are many. There are many. And so she's saying Beninzi. So this song sounds a lot better in the language. Like
But those
Beninzi,
words are powerful.
Beninzi. Yeah, the words. The words are just like
I mean, you can apply that. That I feel like part of the magic of that song is that it applies to anything and everything.
it does. It does.
Like it's a that is definitely a vehicle for manifestation right there. Like, let me jump into this and feel what I'm feeling because it's addressing. She's like, I know you're there. There have been many there. you know,
Yes. Yes.
you're not the first one to go through this. You're not the last. But we're going through,
We're going through.
and we're gonna make it out.
Yes. Yes. So the themes that this song explores are faith and guidance, resilience
Mm,
and hope.
mm-hmm.
Um it reflects on the inner strength it takes to keep moving forward despite feeling empty or lost. This resilience
Yeah.
is often fueled by spiritual faith and the assurance that divine timing will reveal the way. I love
Mm,
that. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Like the
mm-hmm.
lyrics encourage perseverance by trusting the unseen forces that guide you, whether that's God, the universe, or ancestral spirits. The path is shown
Wow.
by those ahead. It suggests that the ancestors, through their own journeys, illuminate your way forward. So just thinking like
Mm,
there were many before me, like they have like
yes.
literally blazed the path for me. I don't know what I need to do. I just said that to my friend this morning with something that I'm creating. Like I don't know the steps. I don't know what the next step is, but I just know I got to do this step.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got to do this.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, this song is really it goes on to say that Amanda's voice is raw and emotive, echoing traditional African praise and
Mm,
lamentation songs. Her delivery feels like a prayer and or call
mm-hmm.
to the ancestors filled with reverence and vulnerability. The soulful arrangement, layered harmonies, and rhythmic structure reflect traditional African musical forms where music is used to connect with the divine and invoke spiritual support. The
Mm,
repetition of There Are Many feels like a chant or mantra, reinforcing its meditative and spiritual effect. Repetition is a common feature in
yeah.
spiritual practices to induce a trance like state and deeper connection to the spiritual realm. When I tell y'all this song is she that's what I'm saying. This girl know what she doing with these songs, Jessica. Like
Say the title again.
this is not
Say the title
it's
again.
it's called Beninzi. Beninzi. Like it when I read this, and this is just my chat GPT, I asked for the lyrics in English and then I asked
Mm-hmm.
for like the spiritual connection. Like I said, can you break down what this song means with spirituality and connections to the ancestors? And it gave me all of this. It says the line I ask you to forgive feels like an invocation to reconcile with past pain, whether
Mm,
personal or generational, allowing for healing and transformation.
mm-hmm.
This is often seen in ancestral practices that call for resolving unfinished business and seeking blessings for those who came before. Strength and community. By highlighting you're not the first and you're not the last, the song reinforces the African concept of Ubuntu. I am because we are. This
Oh,
reflects
yes.
interconnectedness, not just with the living, but with also the spirits that of the departed. When I tell you this song, girl,
Wow.
this song is so all the songs on the album This song is from the album called Power. This is her first album. She has since put out another one. She just put out another one last year, but this one is Power. All of the songs, all of them. I wish we can do a whole, just episodes of breaking down all these songs. Like, and
Hmm.
I really hope we figure out how to play the song during the episode because it is
Yeah.
very, very powerful. Like, it's really good. I love this song. I encourage everybody to listen to it. You will be very emotional. Like, every time I listen to it, I get emotional for some
Hmm.
reason. That's why I'm
Well,
like,
look, because it sounds like, I mean, these are the words in English. It's speaking, it's speaking to you. Like you feel supported, but
mhm.
also you feel like you have to release,
You have to release.
and it's like at the
And
same
it's
time.
with what ChatGPT said. It's not only the lyrics; it's the harmonies. It's the
Okay.
layeredness of the song, like how it's layered with the harmonies and the music, and just the way in which she has composed the song is like this is an actual spiritual song. This is spiritual technology here.
But okay, I got something to say about that. So, Matthias DeStefano, he has a YouTube channel called. Ooh, my voice got a little weird, but he has a YouTube channel called Star Speaks, I believe it's called. Don't quote me on that. That may not be, or Starseed. Starseed Speaks.
Hmm.
Um, I believe that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he has a video where he discusses manifestation, bringing how things come to reality, right? Manifesting is
Mm-hmm.
getting something out of your head and into the present
Mm-hmm.
so that you can hold it. And also can be seen as allowing yourself to receive and hold what God has for you,
Mm-hmm.
to have your arms wide open and accept it. But he says that music is the pathway of manifestation. The sound waves create, it's a form of creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vehicle. Let me just say again the word vehicle of creation. And I definitely, I feel like that with, a lot of songs, especially like we covered what Defying Gravity. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that with that song, like the way that they put that song together,
Mm-hmm.
like I have an ear for music, and like that is a complete song
Mm-hmm.
through the transitions, like it is amazingly put together. Even on the end,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just the composer did his thing. Um, but I'm excited to listen to that song
Yeah.
so that I can hear
Yeah,
it.
we will be listening to it because it's gonna be in this episode. I'm saying it right now. It's in this
Mm-hmm.
episode. Like, I encourage. I found that song watching the Young Rich and African reality show on Netflix.
Oh, really?
But I just have to shout that show out because it's a really good show. But and we also have South African listeners. We're
Yes.
international,
Hey.
y'all. Shout out to our South African listeners. So we're like, we have to highlight a South African song, but I know we
Mm-hmm.
all have our songs. We all have our artists that we like, and that one I just recently discovered within the last couple of years, and I had to share it because it's me without even knowing it. Like, I've been listening to that song for years now, for the last 2 years, and I only knew one English part of that. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
all of the what that song meant. I just felt it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, because we have been disconnected from the spiritual technology of our native tongue of the African people, because it is
Mm-hmm.
spiritual technology, that those
Mm-hmm.
languages. Um we are able, even though we're disconnected from it, when we hear it, our body reacts. Like,
Yes. And
we
you can
can
feel that.
feel it. It's like something gets, stirred up inside of us, or something gets triggered inside of us, like, oh wait, let me step into what this song is saying. Let me feel the emotion of this song. I was even
Mm-hmm.
watching, I told you, when I discovered the lyrics to the song, I had decided to put on Wakanda. I put the subtitles on them.
Yes.
Wakanda. They speak it. That's the language they speak in Wakanda. Black Panther, Wakanda
Hmm.
Forever, Zosha. I'm like, okay. So sometimes when I be watching movies, I be thinking that they be making up the languages, but I'm glad he
Because they
actually.
say that sometimes.
Yeah, they do. But I'm glad he
Hmm.
put a real language in there.
Hmm.
He put a
Hmm.
real language, a real African language.
That was a huge synchronicity to
Mhm.
find out what the lyrics mean and then to find out, well, girl, this has been a part of your life forever.
Right.
And I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more to that,
Yes, there's
which is
more.
beautiful.
So I encourage, share songs with us. Send us the songs that you use to manifest, or, while you're singing in the shower or driving down the street, or, in your house, just singing, cleaning, whatever you're doing, manifest, visualize what you want in your life while you're listening to that song or any
Yes.
song.
And I want to add, before we move on to our next segment, I just want to say she talks about forgiveness and how important that is. It's forgiveness is accepting. Forgiveness is the acceptance.
Mhm.
Okay. And we both, you know, have had our run ins with where we've had to forgive people, even forgiving ourselves, forgiving situations.
Mhm.
And when you accept the way that things are, then you can move on from them because that resentment, forgiveness, lack of forgiveness breeds resentment, right?
Mhm.
And that stays within the body and
Mhm.
causes the dis-ease. Now you're not feeling good.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, this person over there having the time of their life. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's not forgiving to allow them to come back and hurt you again. It's forgiving to send peace their way and you get peace in return.
Mhm.
And then you can accept all of the blessings that are out there for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no. In order for me to forgive, I had to be completely selfish and say that forgiveness is for me. I
Yeah.
ain't giving you nothing.
Really?
If I'm forgiving you, I ain't giving you nothing. This is for me.
Hmm.
God, I'm crazy.
Whichever. Anyway, as long as it's done.
As
Look.
long as it's done. That's how I had to get through.
Hmm.
That's how I had to do it. Cause I'm like, this is not for you. I ain't giving you nothing. This is not.
Yeah.
Okay, breathe.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that was good.
Yes.
But so thank you guys for tuning in. We're so happy that we are creating this content and creating these episodes for you guys to listen. We hope to have some special guests very soon. We have our feelers out there. We've been emailing people and we've gotten some replies back, so we're very excited. Um, Thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram at Keep Expecting Miracles Pod. Share the podcast. Share it with people. Share it with people. Share it on your social media, please. Send the podcast link to, one or two friends, one or two family members who you think might benefit from listening to it. I keep forgetting to say that. We're on YouTube at Keep Expecting Miracles. And send us a DM. Send us a message of something that you might want to manifest.